Hey everybody, it's Joric. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. Today I want to talk a little bit about noise. And if you are going to be making a move to Portugal, especially the cities, Lisbon, Porto, we lived in Lisbon, so I have much more experience talking about our time there. But I have a question for you to start off this video. For those of you that live in Portugal, whether it be a rural area like a smaller village or a major city, do you have any issues or complaints about the level of noise that you've experienced living there? Just an open question. I'd love to get some commentary and feedback on what you think is good and bad. When we were looking to move, now we made a couple of scouting trips before we moved to Lisbon, and we wanted to live there versus other places. So we knew we're going to have dogs barking. You're in the city. You're going to have people talking. And because you're in buildings that are close to one another, you may hear neighbors arguing across the street. And that makes it sound like it's a long ways away. But when you're living in a compact city, that's not that uncommon to hear people that are in the building across from you. The garbage trucks, in Lisbon anyway, run in the middle of the night, so you might hear the garbage collection. You might hear also some music coming from some snack bars and some restaurants that goes a little later into the night. We had a particular venue that it was only our last year and a half there, but it was by the Porto hospital, and we were a few blocks behind Porto and above Porto. And there was a venue on the weekends that would go, and we couldn't necessarily see the lights, but we could hear the music, like the thump, 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 almost like a dance or electronic music. And we were probably a 7 to 8 minute walk from our doorstep to that area. So at night, we didn't really hear a lot of cars and traffic, but we did hear the music. And if you are living specifically in Lisbon, I can't speak for Porto, but Lisbon, there's a major outdoor venue in Algarve that a lot of the major concerts in the summer are held there, where you have a lot of big name acts that will be playing. And if you're anywhere around that, not only the lights, but also the sound carries pretty far, and you can hear it. And I bring this up because someone that's a subscriber was just wondering if other people were having issues or having some complaints about the level of noise that goes on regardless of where you live across Portugal. For us, part of it was we've always lived in urban centers, so it didn't really affect us too much. Yes, there were some times where the music would go, at this one particular venue, it would go till 4 a.m. and you could hear it. But it was faint, and if you close the doors and the windows, it went away. But there are some areas where you just have some of the concerts where it can go on and on. I would also say June, festival season or a festival month, be cautious when you're looking to move. Let's say you do a scouting trip in the winter time. It's a great time to go because you can see in the off season, is the part of Portugal that you're looking to move to, is it well inhabited or is it scarce, meaning are restaurants closed, or is it harder to buy things and get things? Or in the summer, you can go in the summer. But June specifically, with lots of festivals happening, each district or almost every community, for example, in Lisbon, may have their own little party and gathering. So there should be an expectation that things are going to go a little later into the night, into the early morning. If you are anywhere near the Bairro Alto in Lisbon, like if you are living in the Chiado area or you're looking for an apartment there, you definitely are going to be up most nights, because we know many people that lived in that area and that part of Lisbon. Lots of party activity, a lot of people outside in the streets enjoying drinks, dancing, enjoying food. So because of that, there should be an expectation if you're going to move to that part of Lisbon, you're going to be up most nights throughout the year, not just in the festival months. So, but what is your take on things? We've had the occasional, neighbor that the police, had to be called because they just kept yelling and screaming and they wouldn't stop. But other than that, we didn't have much else, and we were thankfully not right next to this venue in Lisbon. We did know a couple, actually a pretty big YouTube couple that lived right behind it, and that's one of their major complaints, and one of the many reasons why they were looking to move out of that area was just it was too loud, and even with the doors closed, you could still hear it as if you were outside or at the venue. But what is your take on this? We feel like we lived in a more residential area where we had the usual and customary noises that went on during a day or during an evening. And other than that one concert venue, we didn't have a lot of disruption. But there are people that do have more disruptions. We also knew that where we lived in Lisbon, we were on the flight path. I've made videos about this in the past, that we were not far from the April 25th bridge, and just as the planes came over, we would look out our balcony or be outside, and we could see the April 25th bridge and the planes coming over or leaving on the way to the airport or leaving the airport. And so that was just something that was a common occurrence, and we knew. Lastly, something else about noise that you may want to think about. If you're in where the metro lines run in Lisbon, if you are in a basement, a main floor, or maybe the first floor of an apartment, a flat, you may feel the rumbling of the train, the metro down below. There are a couple of hotels that we went to where we were dining in the restaurant, and every few minutes you could hear like a little rumble, and we asked the server, "What's that?" That was the metro down below. And we had some good friends that were living in some basement or a -1 flat settings near the Saldana area of Lisbon, and they also, like at night, when the TV's on and when you're playing music, you don't really hear it, but you can feel it. If you're sitting on a couch, or I'm sitting in a chair right now, you could feel a little bit of a rumble. So I would have an expectation too that if you're going to be living in the city center of Lisbon, that you're going to have some, the plane disruptions, the noise. You're going to have, it's just a part of life, as well as the metro down below. But please let us know where you have lived or where you are living in Portugal, and what your pros or cons are of the noise in your particular area. As always, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your travels.